One of the best tools that I have found in terms of helping people of all ages, from children all the way to adults, is Lectio. And in terms of helping them to enter into the Gospels and to be transformed with them. And so no matter what age you are dealing with, every catechetical session that you have from children all the way up to adults should always begin with Lectio. Lectio gives them a love for the sacred scripture. It teaches them how to encounter Christ. It teaches them how to pray, and it teaches them how to listen to the voice of Christ and to really place themselves into the gospel itself so that they do encounter Christ. And so I would say that no matter what you are teaching, taking the first 15 minutes and doing Lectio can transform the way that people encounter Christ and can really transform parents. And whether it's baptismal prep, whether it's confirmation prep, First Eucharist prep, or reconciliation prep, marriage prep, all of it, the encounter and the listening with Lectio really helps people engage more. And really accepting people where they're at. And it's certainly not condoning maybe where they're at, but accepting them where they're at. And we always saw that with Jesus, that he would always accept where the person was at. Whether it was the woman who committed adultery, whether it was the Samaritan woman, whether it was Zacchaeus, whether it was Matthew. And so in the catechesis that you do, and especially in the sessions, in our experience in Fargo at least, and some in Phoenix that I have discussed with Bishop Olmsted, is the parents' sessions in some way are more important than the children's sessions. And because parents are much more engaged when their kids are young, and they're much more willing to come because they have to drive them there, they have to be there, and most of the parents didn't mind. Now granted, in some of the rural areas in Fargo, they had to drive 45 minutes maybe to get to the parish, and so they weren't going to go back and then come back and do that. So they stayed, but we always made sure that we had something for the parents during that hour and a half, sometimes 2-hour session, depending on how lengthy the program was or what the program was. And always beginning with the Lectio and then having something small from the Catechism of the Catholic Church that they could read or some other teaching, and then engaging their questions. And for many of them, what came out was, I never knew this, or I've never read this before, or I've never heard this before. And so, and even with the young people, and I think there's models in our diocese, in the Archdiocese here, when I look at some of the parishes that already have discipleship models for their high school programs. And the thing that we have to do is help people understand, and most parents do understand, that when their child is in 3rd grade, it's not a sacrament of graduation or farewell. There's still plenty more to learn and to understand. And so the approach to catechesis is one of forming lifelong disciples and giving them a love for lifelong learning. And I think we could learn a lot from the model of Focus, the Fellowship of Catholic University students, and the transformation that they have brought about in university students across the country, and the types of disciples that they have produced.